So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
And what is good people? Back once again after a 2-week hiatus. And back to All Pucked Up, brought to you by MyGarageBar.com and, of course, Disruption Network. What's been happening, everyone? I feel like it's been too long. But everybody went quiet. Everybody's looking at me like the deer eyes, like, oh, my God. What
hockey.
Who are you again?
I don't know. I'm Rich Masucci, your host, your ghost host with the most. I got that off something. I don't remember what the hell it was. But let me introduce you guys real quick here. That's what we do. Yoshi.
Yep.
What's happening, my sir?
Nothing. Had my birthday while we were on our break there. And went to
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah. So how old are you?
35.
35.
Yep.
God bless you, man. I wish I was 35 again.
Went to the Comets game Saturday during their Save the Day game week there. Pretty cool. I didn't win anything this year, which was kind of...
Oh, that's right. Last year you...
I won the jersey last year, and the year before I won Archie's stick.
Oh, you're like a... I should go to the game.
I was trying to go for a three-peat this year. It didn't happen. Bought a new guitar, and
I saw that.
hockey is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thing's awesome.
And I think it was Travis over there, who we'll introduce in just a second, was saying, nick that thing up.
Yeah. And Mega said he was going to report me to Nikki Six because I didn't buy another Thunderbird. But
that's a big one right there.
Yeah.
Scott.
What's happening, brother?
Back again.
Yeah.
What's new?
You know what? Nothing.
At least you're honest.
Hey, I don't have any interesting stories to tell. I didn't buy any guitars, so
that's all right.
Yosh has got me. There's nothing. I just having a very boring week, I guess.
That's all right. Hey, I noticed the Killebrew hockey.
It's my beer league team.
I didn't even know that. You know, obviously, that the Killebrew is right around the corner from me.
Right.
Yeah. How did I not know that?
Amazing wings.
Oh, just the everything wings?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like because I have my beer league on Saturday nights, and that's obviously our sponsor. So usually after the games, we'll head down there to go support our sponsor and all that. And, of course, you're hungry after you play.
Absolutely.
So guess
More
what?
time.
The old pile of everything wings comes out right out the Scott's table. Boom. So
they're the best over there. And those are the
God.
wings that are like about that big.
they're like about the size of my head.
They're mutant.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
So you eat 10 of them and you're like done for like 2 days.
And see, now that I know this and I got that all chiming around in my head, I'm like, on the way home, I pass right by the Killebrews.
Yeah, see? So,
I was gonna-
you'll have to come to a game some night.
Can I get the wings?
Sure.
Then yes.
There you go. That's the trade-off. We'll have a fan in the stands, but we got to pay him in wings.
I'll be up there like, go, go, go. Let's get this game done. We got to go to
Everything's waiting. Come on. Let's go.
And Travis, look at this guy. You just can't keep this guy away. Two shows in a row now. But I'm telling you what, you keep bringing food, and I think Z is actually going to offer you your own show.
Well, I keep getting nasty text messages about when you going to feed us, so here I am.
Yeah. And pizza today, right?
Yeah, I made one. It's called the Soldado. It's in memory of Frank Soldado. He died 4 years ago.
Right.
He told me how to make it and let me know the little nuances of it and stuff. So I would just call it the Soldado.
It's great, too, because, you're such a big guy. I don't think, I didn't first time I met you, I didn't think like, hey, this guy can cook. That I got to be honest. That's like when you said, I do a lot of cooking. I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
Well, that's how I got so big.
I was going to say, then you saw me drink, and then you tasted my cooking. Oh, no wonder he's a fat bastard.
I got to admit though, man, the Riggies from 2 weeks ago, banging.
Stick to the rib.
Yeah. Obviously, it totally does. So everybody's probably wondering why is that guy wearing the basketball jersey. I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I was a huge Kobe Bryant fan. Lakers, if you know me, you've known that I've been a Lakers fan since I was like a little itty bitty boy, and that was absolutely horrible news to hear yesterday about Kobe Bryant and everybody that was on board that helicopter. Just horrible news and great tragedy. And I'm going to say something, and I know I was kind of talking with these guys when I first came in the studio today. A little fired up. Thank you, Facebook, and I'll just put it that way because without you, I would not realize what classless pieces of shit that are out there in this world today. And I know I don't like to swear on my own show and all that good stuff, but when you see people talking crap about people that have passed, regardless of whether they were famous or not. Real classy, and when you go on and you say things about their kids too, that just really speaks volumes about the type of person you are. All I can say to everybody out there is realistically think before you open your mouth. And there's an old saying called know your audience, read the room, and you never know who you're going to be addressing, who might be out there, any of that stuff. So think before you speak. And maybe you won't have to do things like apologize and make excuses for yourself afterward. That's all I can say for it. And as far as Kobe Bryant, man, great loss. And my heart is with you and your family and everything else. And I know there's people out there right now saying, well, why is he talking about basketball on a hockey show? I guess one would wonder. But if you can't see the importance of that man to the game of basketball and to sports in general, obviously anybody who watches any types of sports, you realize like there's always these rivalries that are built up. You think about like maybe hockey. It's always, well, at least for like the last 20 years, it's been Crosby and Ovechkin, You think about any of the great rivalries out there, the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, what that did for the sport. And of course, with the NBA for a long time, it was always LeBron and Kobe. And that really helped build the sport, and it's amazing to open the paper or look on the internet rather and see that somebody that's carried the game that way is gone. So that's pretty much sucks. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk hockey, and we'll go with that. Z's looking at me like, "Oh man, what's going on here?" Yeah. Sorry, guys, I get wound up about Kobe.
Now that all the air is left the room.
Yeah. Yep.
But you did get your Penguins reference in, I noticed.
Well, of course, man. Of course, I do. It's the first time in my life when I was driving down here and I said, I shouldn't really do that. And then you'll never, ever hear me say this, but screw it. It's my show, and I'm going to do goddamn exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
So there you go. Let's talk hockey because we had the All-Star weekend just go by, and I don't know, man. Every year we talk about this, and was it a fun time? Was it a good time? Do you like it the way it is? Because it's a constantly changing format. It just always is. And this year, I noticed they added some new things. Scott, I can see it already. Yeah, I know already that you are not a fan of those video screens.
I hated the accuracy competition this year.
Yeah,
that was so stupid
and not accurate.
It wasn't just.
If you actually watched it, there were times they were not hitting where the target was. And it was counting it,
and you'd see the little wall crumble down. I'm like, yeah, man.
How cheesy! It's like, really? Does the NHL really feel it necessary to turn everything into a video game?
I mean, it makes cleanup
odd.
I guess it makes cleanup easier because they don't have to sweep up all the styrofoam targets off the ice.
Yeah, but that was like one of the best parts about it, though. They hit that shatter all over the place. And and you knew the target was actually hit.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, they put this plexiglass garbage inside the net. And do you know what the best part was? Did you see when it broke?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they had to delay everything. They're like, oh.
That was like in the first.
It was like the whole
rounds.
air went out of them. It was like, it's like, oh, really?
I was just looking at that going, in the past, remember they would like change too? You hit the lit up one.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
it would-
fine.
And that's still because
Yeah.
you're still hitting the target.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And this year it was a little bit different. I guess I'm a stickler for like tradition. And if yeah, and if you think like, man, last year they were having a tough time timing which one was lit up,
Right.
you know. And I get that they want to get rid of that, but just like you said, to get rid of the entire format, I don't know, man, not into it. I did, however, like the shooting competition, the shooting
Stars. That was actually, you know what? I want to get some scaffolding and do that in my yard.
Yeah,
I really do.
your neighbors will love you.
I'll risk the trip to the ER to do that.
I must be the only one that didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't like that one?
Could you imagine how much fun that must be to actually be able to do that, though?
Well, like
yeah.
you're talking about staying traditional and everything with hockey. The one thing I would have liked if they had done that same thing, but say they did at ground level behind the goalie net, and you can only use a backhand, that just would have been somewhat more realistic to the game of an actual skill.
True. I don't know, man. I'll tell you, I liked it because I just liked watching those guys climb that scaffold and struggle. Although I will say,
30 feet.
there's one thing about it, in like the big net in the middle that was worth the most, a 10-pointer, was like the biggest in the one dead center. And I thought, if you're going to make the 10 points, wouldn't you make them like the little tiny ones?
Well, that's
Right.
that's just it. And I guess there was thing that the NHL kind of pushed for it to be like that because they didn't want the players ripping shots as far as they could down the ice.
Okay.
Potentially, going into the crowd.
Now, was anybody else concerned that Brett Hall was going to fall off that thing? Did you?
I felt
I'm
bad
watching
for
this. I'm
him,
going,
man.
oh my god! I'm like,
They tried to bring
has
out
he been
Hall.
hanging out with Ovi? What's going on here? Because he's got this big smile on his face. I'm like, somebody make sure you're standing behind Brett Hall at all times, please.
Yeah. But, obviously they kept trying to bring out like the old Blues grades. and
Right, which
everything.
is fine. I mean, it's in St. Louis. That's cool.
But at
you
the
know?
same time, the minute you see him handing the stick, you're like, oh boy, here we go. And did you watch where that shot by Hall went?
Yeah. Yeah.
No man's.
It ended up in Kansas City.
It did. I felt.
You know what, though? Did you see, too, the hardest shot competition? Speaking of bringing out Blues grades, you see they brought Al McInnes out?
Yep.
Still got it.
And he still
100
got it.
And he's with a wooden stick. That was the best
Yeah.
part. And I'll tell you why. Because for Killebrew Hockey, that beer league I was just talking about that I play in, I use a wooden stick. I can't stand these composite sticks nowadays. And for me, with a wooden stick, you can feel the puck so much better on your stick. It's just, that's what I grew up playing with and all that. So the fact that Al McInnes got 100 miles an hour on his shot with an old wooden stick, as opposed to these whippy crossbow type things they're using nowadays, it was phenomenal to me. Now, there's a little inside story I was reading on The Athletic. I don't know if you guys have heard that. It's a subscription service, and it's all about different sports and whatnot.
Yeah. I've got the free version.
Yeah, so they were talking about, they interviewed Al McInnes, and he was not going to do that. He did not want to be any. He's like, I don't want to go out there and embarrass myself. No thanks, and all that.
Oh, okay.
So I guess, long story short, the NHLPA Alumni Association was heavily involved with this All-Star Weekend as far as trying to get, because that's what their big push has been, trying to get their alumni more involved with the game.
Sure.
And all, which makes perfect sense, right? So they finally convinced him to do it by saying, okay, you're going to be the guy that goes out there first. You're going to kind of like set the bar. And for every person that beats you, we'll donate $5,000 to their favorite charity in their name. So that he was like, oh, okay, fine. If it's going to, one of those
raise
deals.
money. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was talking about how, he got back on, because he hadn't been on the ice in like 15 years.
Oh wow.
And he's like, oh, I got before I go make a complete fool out of myself here, right? So obviously it worked for Al, and it's like I said, it warmed my heart to see that wooden stick, because I don't know if you guys have seen the latest Bauer Nexus stick that's come out.
No,
It's ridiculous. It has a little it's like a fingernail cut out in the blade itself.
Yeah.
It's a 2-piece blade, right? So it's flexible on the bottom, solid on the top, and it's supposed to work like a slingshot. How much more advantages do these guys need? I mean,
Apparently
seriously.
just a little more.
It goes right back to what I was saying. Does everything have to be a damn video game?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, just learn how to play the game. We don't need slingshots in hockey. We don't, okay, so I might sound like the crotchety old man, get off my ice, but it's ridiculous.
Right.
No, I think we all agree.
I buy all my sticks at Play It Again Sports, so maybe in like 25 years.
You'll
they'll-
get
Oh, yeah, because these things are going for like $250, $300. So,
But I will agree with Scott, and even just on a ball hockey stance, I have a wood stick and I have a composite stick that I use to play ball hockey with,
Yeah.
and I actually prefer the wood stick over the composite stick.
Majority of my bars
Gotta
wood
play this
sticks.
on Wednesday night.
Right. That's right.
I know. If I wish I didn't work nights. Actually, the next 2 weeks I'm not working nights.
Go play ball hockey with him?
I might.
You don't want to do that.
Let the heart attack begin.
I played about 21 seconds and was sidelined for the rest of the game.
I'm more of a goalie than anything else, anyways. So.
I'm more of a victim.
Just keep the play down at the other end of the gym. I'll be fine.
But what'd you think of everything? I mean, what else? The speed competition.
The speed comp, I always like that. I think that's really cool. I'm glad that they keep that around.
Yep.
There's some things you have to keep around, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep the accuracy shooting in. You have
yeah.
to keep the hardest shot. They just got to fix that
speed
accuracy.
competition.
Go back to the targets, You know what I missed? I remember, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, when they had the goalie competition where they were shooting at targets, the goalies were? You remember that? When Mike Smith got the goal into the little tiny, they put the board up.
That wasn't last year.
That
No, I
had
think it
been
was
2
like-
years ago.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of neat, a little different, But, overall, the skills competition wasn't too awful bad. Like I said, if they didn't have that botched accuracy shooting, it would have been really good. And I don't care what anybody said. I like that shooting stars. And I'm really a traditional kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was really neat, having the platform out there in the crowd and all that. And,
Oh, yeah.
it was a little bit different. I liked it. Spiced it up a little bit, And I also like that women's game. Did you guys see that?
That was
That
good.
was really,
That was
really
really
good.
good.
That was a
Yeah.
highlight of the whole
Close
competition.
game, too. It was
It was 2-1.
They were there to play. They
They-
were
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that
well, there was no
100%.
doubt. They weren't there just to screw around.
No, they weren't.
They were out to prove a point.
They were in the same locker room.
Yeah, and it really kind of makes sense for the NHL to really just start stepping in and getting that women's league going under their auspices, like the NBA does with WNBA.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to do it anymore.
I just want to say, too, the AHL skills competition was last night, going back to talking about hardest shot. And Martin Firk for the Ontario Reign, which is the LA Kings affiliate,
Yeah.
beat Chara's hardest shot
109.
109.4 or something like that.
Smoking.
Yeah. That's a shot you just step the hell out of the way.
Yeah, I'd hate to be a goalie.
No, I don't. Goalie. I feel bad for the defenseman or the forward down there trying to screen the
block
goalie.
it, yeah.
Kidding me? The goalie's got gear on. There's on him.
I'd hate to be the netting.
Yeah.
It's like the Anaheim Duck movie. Everybody's getting out of the way.
You kind of think back to like Brandon Gallagher, who's had his hand broke twice, I think, now by Shea
Yeah.
Weber's shots, trying to screen a goalie in front.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
just move. Just
are you kidding me?
let him take the shot.
Next thing you know, Brandon Gallagher skates out there in a suit of armor. All right, I'm ready.
Wearing like
clonk, clonk, clonk.
gauntlets and stuff. What'd you guys think of the actual game?
Campy garbage like it is every year.
Yeah.
Oh, they scored. And
They
scored
say that
again.
they want to go with the 3-on-3 for scoring and all that. But the thing is, look at All-Star games in the past 25, 30 years. Look, if you look at all of them are high scoring. Nobody's out there trying to play defense.
Nobody wants to get hurt.
No,
I get it.
absolutely not. I'm just on that train that you got to go back to what conference versus conference.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
This division thing is old.
And
It is.
Every team gets one player in, and then the last man. I just don't. I'm
Yeah.
not,
I don't disagree with every team getting a player in on it because that keeps all of the fan base interested. If say like there were no Rangers on the ice, I probably would be like, why watch it then?
yeah. I mean, I get that.
Kreider took Panarin's place because Panarin got all-star-itis.
Yeah, all of a sudden you had the mystery injury.
Yeah.
A lot of players. There were more players this year
what?
that got mysteriously injured that were supposed to be in the All-Star game.
I'm glad you said that, Yoshi, because it's kind of funny. Panarin suddenly gets a nagging injury that he's supposedly been dealing with, even though he's been on fire for the past 3 weeks.
And
now the Rangers are trying to showcase Kreider for the trade deadline. Oh, well, guess what? We just happened to have an all-star opening. Wow.
Yeah.
Chris Kreider, come on down. Yeah.
I was wondering about the money thing too, because obviously the NFL had their Pro Bowl yesterday, and I was looking at the money breakdowns. It's like $1 million split between the team,
Right.
Yeah. That the
So, yeah.
I mean,
But I don't think it's just
not
the players that get in on it. I mean, you got to figure the coaches,
there. Yeah, that's too.
trainers involved. And you still, how do you split it up?
are the celebrity coaches getting a cut of that too?
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm a
Great one,
big fan
leading
of
the Pacific
Office,
to
so
victory.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jenna Fisher's always been a favorite of mine. So
There you go.
yeah, I love The Office. It's a great show. I think I'm on my 10th rewatch.
Yeah, she did a lot out there. I noticed that.
She did.
You know what I think they got to do for the skills competition? They should have a fighting contest.
Sold.
I think that's the
imagine that?
ECHL All-Star game.
Yeah.
Up next to the drop the gloves competition.
But I always kind of felt like the going back to the game, getting every team to send one player is almost like, and we talked about this last night.
Yeah.
It feels almost a little bit like a participation trophy.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, I do get it. I understand every team or every fan base wants to be able to see somebody from their team. But I do miss the old days. Like as a Penguins fan, I used to love watching. Oh man, it was Yager, Lemieux, and I think we had Stevens on that same line. You'll never see that anymore. You know? And I can almost wonder, like for the Avs or even for the Bruins, man. You're not going to see a line that's like a dominant line going into.
Probably not, but a lot of times you only see that when that city's hosting the competition too.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of a stretch. But, the thing is now the league's going to have 32 teams pretty soon.
Yeah.
16 teams in each conference. So you figure to put together a team, you have to have 4 forward lines. So there's 12 players. You have 3 D pairs. So there's 6. Makes 18. Another 3 goalies, 1 for each period, right? So there's 21. Maybe you let them carry a couple extra players just to kind of, feed everything in.
Yeah, sure.
So you could put 23 players on each team, which we figure was 16 teams each conference. And I'm just going to go ahead and count Seattle because you're looking down the road. Mm-hmm. So that still leaves 7 extra players, right? So you could even, because I guess the whole idea with going to the divisions was, well, we got 8 teams in each division now, and it's going to be too hard to do conference. It's like, no, not really. I mean,
not really at all.
That was also part of doing the divisional setup for the playoffs.
Right. So, I mean, I see absolutely zero reason why they couldn't go back to the conferences. Yeah. I really don't. Yeah. And they got to do something about these all-star uniforms. Just come up with a traditional all-star uniform and be done.
The onesies?
We don't need to redesign the wheel every year for these things.
Jerseys this year were awful.
Oh, my
God. They
were
so bad.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I'm going to say they were probably among the worst all-star jerseys.
Yeah, like last year's jersey I really liked.
Yeah.
Last year's were really cool. The last year they did the 5-on-5, those ones were really bad, too, with like the neon green striping.
Oh, those are bad.
And it's funny, too, because now Florida's hosting next year, the Panthers. So 2 things. Is anybody going to show up for it?
I mean,
fair question.
That's where half the guys go on their break.
Right. We'll see how many all-star itises there is next year when it's in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you bring that up and say the lack of attention that it might have. That was one thing I noticed when I was watching it this weekend, is being in a city where they just won the Stanley Cup. You could just feel the buzz and that energy even through the TV.
Oh yeah, everybody was.
Oh, there's And, speaking of that, now that you mentioned that, did you see during that Shooting Stars competition, Matt Tkachuk just like pandering to the crowd?
Oh,
he took off his Flames jersey and had
the
Cardinals jersey underneath it. How pissed off do you think Flames fans were about that? Like, what are you doing? What, traitor?
You want to like St. Louis so much? Go back to them. Screw you. Yeah, that was pretty fun. But we'll see what happens next year. I don't know. They make planes, so they'll have an audience one way or another. So, what do we? Let's. We have a whole nother conversation we're going to tackle. I think that's going to take a little while. So let's take a little bit of an early break here. And Scott, you have trivia for us?
I do.
Let's
hold on. Cue it up.
You know what? Every time we cue it up, it always goes to something else. So let's see.
Let's see what it goes to.
Hold on, I got to get my Google ready.
If it goes to Raise House Money, ready? Hit it! Yeah.
Wow! I can't believe it. I got my music. All right, this is Breakaway Trivia. You guys know the rules. I'm the goalie. You're coming down on me on a breakaway. To score, you got to answer my question correctly. So here's the question for this week. In honor of the All-Star Weekend, it's going to be the last we talk about it. Who has the most appearances in NHL All-Star Game history?
Is this as easy as I think?
Who has the most appearances in NHL All-Star history? The answer when we come back.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back? Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
Scott, we're back. What's your trivia, my friend?
All right, one more time. The question was, who has the most appearances in NHL All-Star history? Who's played in the most games, All-Star games in NHL history? What do you guys think?
Mr. Hockey.
Ooh.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ooh.
How many?
That I don't know, but I
A
figured.
lot.
Yeah, but you know what?
They called
honestly,
him back in
if
like
you think about it, it's
83,
kind of a
right?
no-brainer when you think about
Yeah.
it, right? And Yosh is absolutely right. Yosh scores. It's Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey, with 23 All-Star appearances
Wow.
in his long, illustrious career.
His last one was 83, right?
81.
81. That's right.
I'm so happy I didn't have to give my
50
response.
No, I'm sorry. It was 1980
80.
because he played that 1 year
Yep.
when the WHA merged in with the NHL. He was with the Whalers.
And he was 51 years old.
Right.
Yep.
Look at this. I'm trying to figure out where our thing is there. Is this it? Yeah, there it is. There's that fade. There's that fade we're looking at.
That's so cool. Finally had my own music to Breakaway Trivia. Wow.
And the great thing about it is I was trying to figure out the controls there, and I'm like, oh damn, I don't even know because we've never had it before. So now I'm trying to figure out how to get everybody back.
I guess
Can you
it's
still hear
actually
us
gonna
out
be one
there?
of your guys.
Huh? Yeah. Did you move over? I don't know why our camera's all messed up now.
No.
Oh well. It wouldn't be all pucked up if it wasn't all pucked up.
That's right.
So yeah. Anyway, Travis, we're getting half of you. I don't know what happened with the camera. They totally shifted while we're talking here.
Oh, Scott was getting a little handsy, so
Did you move over because he was getting handsy? Put his hand on your thigh there, and
I wish it was there.
Absolutely deny all that. Remember, we're on video.
oh, good lord. So they recently announced the all-decade team, and there's some names on here. I want to kind of go over these names for the first team and the second team and see how you guys jive with it, because I know there's probably going to be some debate here. So the first team they announced was Sidney Crosby, Patrick Kane, Alexander Ovechkin, Duncan Keith, Drew Doughty. Oh, I'm sure Scott's
Imagine that.
and of course Marc-Andre Fleury. That's your first team. Just kind of following up here, it says the 6 players were chosen by a panel of NHL general managers, hockey operations staffs, NHL.com writers, and on-air talent from NBC, Sportsnet, and TVA Sports. There you go. So, and the all-decade second team was Evgeny Malkin, Patrice Bergeron, Steven Stamkos, Erik Karlsson, Zdeno Chara, and your boy Henrik Lundqvist.
That's right.
So let's talk about this here. I mean, any names on there that you don't feel were deserving of those spots, and if so, who would you sub in?
I'm going to say Duncan Keith on the first team.
Okay.
Okay, he had a great first half of the decade, and then he kind of disappeared. So if
Yeah,
you're going to be
I
an
would-
all-decade, you have to be at least very good for the entire decade.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I know he had those few phenomenal years, and yes, I know he was a part of 3 Stanley Cup winning teams and all that, but once again, it was like when they did that NHL 100 list.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? And they just completely pandered to the Blackhawks, when really, if the only one that actually had any deserved to be on there was Patrick Kane, but they had to put Taves and Duncan Keith on there too. So I'm going to kick Duncan Keith off the island for the first team. And you know what? Even if they put Drew Doughty on the second team, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. You know, obviously I'm not going to complain that he's on the first team, but and I will go so far to say, as if it wasn't for the Vegas Golden Knights, Marc-Andre Fleury would not be on the first team.
Okay.
No way. I mean, yeah, he's great. Don't get me wrong. But if he doesn't have this renaissance and have that miracle run to the finals with Vegas in the first year,
I might
nobody's
agree.
putting Marc-Andre Fleury on their first team. Nobody. because he was another one who just kind of fell off the face of the earth for 3 or 4 years.
You're right.
And then came back with a vengeance.
So who goes in your first team goalie position?
The first team goalie. You know, this is, and I was looking at it, and I know it's going to start a war about the whole Lundqvist selection. I mean, you could put Lundqvist in there. 2 noticeable names for goalies that they left off of this list for me: Carey Price,
Yeah.
and Sergei Bobrovsky. People forget Bobrovsky had 2 Vezina trophies in this decade.
That's true.
You know, and yes, I know he didn't have the playoff runs and all that. Again, that's what holds him back. But if you're going to talk about individual performance.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, let's put it this way: Bobrovsky had better numbers than Lundqvist. He has more Vezinas than Lundqvist. You know, and I know overall the body of work is for an entire career is better, but we're talking about just 1 decade.
Yeah.
So, I would make a definite stink if I was a fan of Carey Price or of Sergei Bobrovsky. Say, where the heck are these guys?
I hadn't considered Bobrovsky, but I definitely Carey Price. I would definitely say Carey Price.
I mean, Carey Price has an MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's extremely difficult for a goalie to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Anybody else on there?
The other noticeable exception, I kind of have and I can't believe I'm about to say this. Where's Brent Burns?
That is very weird coming out of your mouth.
I know. I know.
What did you do at Scott during the break?
That's
I
what
know.
put in the pizza.
Yeah, it was your fault, Travis.
Who would you take out?
Man, you know, I like Chara, but is he all decade? Is he? I mean, the argument could be made to take either Duncan Keith or Chara out to put Brent Burns in.
Yeah.
The only one I relate is Malkin.
Yeah, and I got a problem with that too.
He didn't play a full season the entire decade.
That's right.
You're not going to get an argument out of me with that.
No, I mean the most games he played was 2017-18. He played 78 games.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most Penguins fans said the same thing. Like, Malkin's on there. How the hell did that happen?
The only thing I really don't like about this stuff is, to me, it seems with the writers and general managers, it's like, okay, whose names can we actually pronounce and who's making us the most money?
Yeah, it's very weird when you always look at like who does it. Yeah, I wish they would say like the names, where they come from, so you had a little bit more of a.
Well, they don't want them to get loads
they
of.
want to be anonymous. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at that and I can agree with that first team, for the most part. I mean, you might be right on Fleury. I would probably put Price there.
I mean, you could make a case for him, but like I said, this is for the entire decade. We're not talking about just the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Don't forget Matt Murray won that Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean
It wasn't Fleury.
Yeah.
I mean, Fleury got him through a round, right?
Yeah.
But you know, if Fleury was that great, there's no way they put Fleury back on the bench and put Murray in.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so I'm kind of really
Interesting. You know, as I also look at that, Carlson, I don't know, man. Second.
You knew there was no way they were going to not put Carlson on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
How many? He's got 2 or 3.
He has 2 Norrises.
Norris trophies. I mean, he was great with Ottawa. It's just San Jose.
But you know,
he got paid in San Jose and went. I'm done.
Well, you could see that coming. San Jose was crazy to give him that contract.
Yeah.
I don't
You
think
know-
he ever fully recovered from the ankle injury.
No, and you know what, too? This is my issue with, like Norris Trophy and all that, right? So Carlson's got 2 of them. Yes, he's an offensive force. Was back in the day.
Yeah.
But he was never, ever any kind of a shutdown defenseman. He was like having an extra forward out there, which is fine, but what's the job of a defenseman? To help keep the puck out of the net, right?
Right.
So there's a school of thought that says that there should be an award given to offensive defensemen, just like a separate category. Call it like the Paul Coffey or the Bobby Orr or something like that.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, that's, to me, a Norris Trophy winning defenseman should be a guy that you want out there in the last minute or 2 of a game when you're trying to protect a lead.
Yeah.
Not a guy, whoa, yeah, he scored 3 goals for us, but if we got him out on the ice right now, we're going to lose this game because it's like the other team's going to be on the power play anyhow.
Right.
So, kind of like how they have the Rocket Richard for the goals champ, right?
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But there was no way they were going to leave Carlson off this list.
No, I agree.
No way.
You know, I know we didn't even talk about this, but if you guys had to make an all-time team,
Oh, man.
yeah,
Oh, my God.
would any of those guys even come close to making that list or no?
Ovechkin.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Ovechkin.
I
And
mean,
Crosby, I guess. Crosby could make a run, but Crosby has the distinction of being a center. And there are so many. He's not even the best center in Penguins history.
No.
You know, that still goes to Mario Lemieux. I don't care. Right? So, Ovi being a left wing, how many great left wings come to your mind like that? Right? I mean, you could make a case for Guy Lafleur. You know, you could make a case for Mike Bossy. You know, but not many come right running into your head. I mean, Maurice Richard was a left wing as well.
I think we one of the shows we actually tackled
Yeah.
the topic.
Yeah.
And I think we agreed. Boss
Actually, I think Bossy was a right wing. Now that I think about it,
was he?
I think I'm wrong about that. I think Bossy was a right wing.
I want to look
I
that.
believe he was. Yeah.
Interesting selection here.
So I mean but like I said, there's no doubt about it. Alex Ovechkin's one of the all-time greats. There's no denying it anymore. Especially being able to do what he's doing at the age he's at.
Yeah, how old is he, by the way?
34.
34.
Yeah.
God love him.
And you know what's going to be interesting for the Capitals is his contract comes up due next year. What are they going to do? He's obviously going to want to go after Gretzky's record.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think.
But
he's
how
gonna
long do you
play
give
anywhere
him?
else.
But how long do you give him? Because now what happens is he'll be 35 when his contract runs out. So he's going to be in that 35 and over category, which means they can't, if they try to cut him, they're going to have to eat the contract. They can't send him to the minors. They can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
They're screwed. Kind of like what happened with the Kings with Kovalchuk. They're stuck with that cap hit.
But how do you tell Ovi like you're not getting what you want?
How do you tell your fan base?
Exactly.
Yeah, really.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, sorry.
You separating yourself from him and causing any kind of rift with Ovechkin, you might as well just go and take a piss on all your fan base.
Pretty much. I think they'll give him whatever he wants. Look what they gave Backstrom.
Yeah,
Backstrom's getting up there, too, and they just handed him a 5-year contract.
absolutely.
And pretty decent money, too.
I know a lot of people, Jamie Ostenet, who's very excited about that Backstrom contract.
I wouldn't be in a couple of years, though. But that's my opinion.
I think they've got like another good year to in there.
Well, I think what happened was I think they got nervous with Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov was supposed to be the future, right? But now all of a sudden he's got this whole aura hanging over him of, with the cocaine incident and all that. Well, seriously, if you think about it, it's like, hey, now we want to put our future in this guy's hands, but can he stay out of trouble?
The cocaine incident.
Sounds like the new Guns N' Roses album or something.
I was going to say there's a number of people I know that was a cocaine incident.
Yeah, right.
Not that I know bad people.
What was that Chappelle show? Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Rick James.
James, true Hollywood story.
Jeez. Oh my God. Let's talk a little bit about this other thing. So Vegas, they released their, I guess it's like the final odds to win the cup, and like I was saying on here, they always have a knack for picking these things. They're very seldom totally wrong. Even on those ones where you're like, what the hell are they looking at? All of a sudden you're like, no, they got it.
They didn't get St. Louis last year.
That they did not. You're absolutely right. I don't think anybody got St. Louis last year. But if I'm looking at the right ones, because there's a couple different sites that I've seen that are a little bit different. But Tampa shooting right up there. And
Imagine what a win streak all of a sudden does, huh?
Yeah.
Are they still the odds-on favorite over Washington, though? Boy,
Not by much.
I don't. No, that's what they're saying. But in my mind, I'm telling you,
You still got the Caps, huh?
I would still go with the Caps.
Really?
And you want to know why? The Caps have made it to the top of the mountain. Tampa Bay has yet to prove it.
You think they're gonna fall apart like last year?
I don't think they're going to fall apart in the first round, but until they can prove they can do it, I'm going to be a skeptic.
Wow.
I'm not a firm believer that you can win on talent alone. I don't think you can. At some point, what is it? Herb Brooks, I think, said, hard work will always beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. Now, I'm not saying the Lightning don't work hard, because they do.
Yeah.
But when you have a team full of all-stars, and we've talked about this before, at some point, Eagles might start getting in the way a little bit. Oh, I want the puck. No, I want the puck. No, I'm the star. You know what I mean? When you got a team that has everybody that knows their role, to steal a line from The Rock, know your role, right? So when you have that, that makes all the difference in the world. And if you got a team that can, and Washington can grind you down,
Yep.
and what do you got to do in the playoffs? It's a grind. It's not fast flying hockey all the time anymore. Now you're in the playoffs. You're in a dogfight.
Yep.
And you know what? I want the team that can grind.
Especially when you get in those later games, like 6
Exactly.
times, they start knowing you. Everybody knows what you're bringing.
Exactly.
Grind you.
There
right
is
down.
no short series.
No, there's not. Yeah, so I'm looking at it. Tampa Bay is on top of that, followed by the Caps. There's Bruins coming in third. And then our first West Coast team here with Colorado. And then the Penguins, followed by the Blues. Dallas, I'm surprised I'm seeing them in there. I don't think they were ranked that high before either. They're right under the Blues.
Which I don't agree with.
You don't
And I think the Blues are actually a little bit too low.
really? Okay.
I think they should be right about where Boston is. They have them where are they? Sixth? Sixth, yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, and again, it goes right back to they made it to the top of the mountain. What do the Blues do? They grind you down.
Yep. And you're right, and they know how to do it.
Exactly. So there's no reason for them to be ranked behind. I mean, as the same as Colorado. And I'm sorry, but there's no way they should have the same odds as the Penguins right now. I know the Penguins have been hot. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just it. They've been hot.
Yeah.
Look at what Columbus did last year, right? Columbus went on that 16-game win streak or something ridiculous last year.
Yep.
Got themselves into the playoffs, and they beat Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But once they got done with that win streak in the middle of the season, they went on like a losing streak and almost missed the playoffs. If you recall, they really just barely got in. So speaking of Columbus, though,
Pretty much exactly what they're doing right now.
speaking of Columbus, I'm going to come right out and say this. John Tortorella is my pick for the Jack Adams Award, Coach of the Year so far.
Yeah.
No doubt. I just wanted to say that because it was something I was thinking about the other day, and I almost put it on the Facebook page, and I got doing something else. I totally forgot about it. But the job that he's doing, considering the patchwork that he's been handed,
Yep.
I mean, all his all-stars left. You know, Panarin's gone, Bobrovsky's gone. Korpisalo comes in, does a spectacular job, and this Elvis Merzlikins came flat out of nowhere. I mean, who knows how long this is going to last? This might be a real good feel good story for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, look what they're doing. I mean, they're actually in a playoff spot right now, and everybody had actually given them up, left them for dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really. But then once again, Tortorella hasn't played as a team.
I think we did.
Yeah, right.
Of course we did.
What happens?
The all pucks up curse.
That's happened, yeah. It's funny because we've had people, not necessarily today, but we've had people chime in the past week wondering where we were, and they said, I'll point them out specifically. Dave Bandage, one of our regular viewers, said, when are you going to start talking about my my jackets? So I didn't even realize he was a Columbus fan. But I think next week we should do a little bit more talking on that. And maybe your Rangers. I know we've been saying that we're going to do like an all Rangers show coming up.
Yeah, they're
soon.
10 points out of a playoff spot, though.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? We
There's still hope.
Oh, that's right. And Travis is a Rangers fan, too.
I mean, the odds are 10,000 to 1 for him right now.
Yeah.
If anybody gives you 10,000 to 1 odds, you take them.
Right?
Hey, you can't listen.
Actually, I want to put my money on Detroit. 100,000 to 1.
Yeah. So what do you like $1?
Just throw $1 at it, you know.
Why not? Any other teams on this list though that are shockers? How they've climbed or how they've
I'll tell you who I thought about, actually, if you're going to put money down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you say somebody just gave you $50 and said, here, play with this. My first pick would have been Vancouver. Why not?
Where are they on here?
They're 1,600. So they're like right about middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Vancouver is just as much as anybody can come out of that West. Yeah, Markstrom was playing phenomenally. Quinn Hughes, Alex Edler on their back end. Their top six can compare with just about anybody in the Western Conference, except maybe Colorado and Vegas. But still, Vegas has more holes than a block of Swiss cheese right now because of that terrible defense they had. What we've been saying all along. Mm-hmm. Their defense is mediocre at best. If Fleury's not playing well, that team is screwed.
They're done.
So...
Yeah, there's a little block of those 1,600 teams. So the Coyotes, Toronto.
And I'll tell you, the other one that I would have gone with is Florida. Vancouver and Florida were the teams that I was beating the drum for right from the beginning of the season anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Florida does need a little bit of work on their back end, so they can fix that at the trade deadline. But if you got Sergei Bobrovsky, who's finally starting to play like Sergei Bobrovsky, because you ever notice he does this too? He plays terrible for about a month or two, and then all of a sudden it's brick wall. He's just like that wall behind you.
Almost like kind of going back to what we were saying about the Lightning. Don't you think that happens with a lot of talented players, though? They phone it in for a little while.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's like a little bit of an urgency.
But look at that top six that Florida has. Mm-hmm. Look at it. I mean, I think they're, if not the highest scoring team in the league, they're second, something like that. Mm-hmm. So you got to figure if Bobrovsky starts playing like Bobrovsky and that top six keeps going like they are,
they can be dangerous.
They are what Vegas was supposed to be. Really. So if you're going to take some money and just screw around with it, Vancouver and Florida.
I noticed that the Isles have taken quite a drop there.
Yeah, that's surprising too, considering the pedigree they got behind the bench. Barry Trotz. I mean, so they hit a little bit of a cold spell here, but it's a long season. Are you going to really go against going into a playoff series, especially? What did we just say? A team that can grind down. Yep. A team that plays extremely well structured defense.
Yep.
I wouldn't bet against them.
No.
There's no way.
No, yeah, and it's what we said when we talked about them earlier in the year. It's just there's no real superstar on that team, and it's been a team effort all the way down the line. Yeah. Nobody's really run away with goals or run away with assists. It's everybody's 50-50 right down the lineup. If you look at the top scorers of the team,
It's funny when I look at that because right now they have, like we're going by the numbers on the side here. So they have them even with Columbus, with the Oilers, and with the Islanders, obviously, but just barely above the Flyers, and all those coming in below the Predators.
Yeah, I can't believe that they have the Leafs rated higher than the Panthers. I'm shocked, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
I mean. The Leafs have proven they can disappoint. That's really
year after year
after year. I don't understand, and that's another team. Until you can prove you can get out of the first round, please stop. You're the paper tiger.
They'll never get out of the first round if they have to keep playing Boston in the first round. It'll never happen.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen this year.
No,
unless they have to take them out in the wild card.
Yeah.
Which could happen. Usually it was the 2-3 because Tampa Bay was always running away with the division.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of an even more interesting dynamic. Boston finishes first in the division, and the Leafs end up as the wild card 2. Which I'll tell you what, though, if they're going to have to depend on the wild card, they're going to have an even harder time getting into the playoffs than if they were going to battle for the 2-3 spot.
Yep.
I'll tell you that right now because that wild card race in the Eastern Conference is going to be crazy going down the stretch. It's going to be fun, too.
It always is.
That'll be a really fun battle to watch.
Yeah. Some crazy names on here.
Maybe this will be the year the Maple Leafs smarten up and just call up the entire Marlies team. Do a flip-flop.
Well, they already called up their coach. Permanently.
Just keep going. Why not?
But that's the thing, though, too. I mean, you say the Marlies, right? Year after year after year, the Marlies are great. But it never translates to the NHL level. That's why you always got to kind of be careful with, they're an AHL powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's great. But it's in a completely different league.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't necessarily mean that just because you have this awesome Marley AHL team that all of a sudden start polishing up the Stanley Cup because it's coming home, mama. No, it's not that way.
That's very true.
You guys talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a lot of guys that you could call up and fill third and fourth line spots with that are going to play 5-10 minutes a night and not prove it, and then you'll send them back down. They're back playing the first line in the AHL, scoring away.
Yeah,
exactly.
Coyotes, man.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. They got them like 8th on here.
You know what they're dependent on? Darcy Kemper coming back and still being as lights out as he was.
Yeah,
that's what they're dependent on.
I think he's back now, right? They just took him off IR.
No, you're thinking of Ante Ranta, right?
No.
Oh, really?
Kemper,
okay.
Kemper just came.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean,
so we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out very quickly.
Yeah, I'm just not sold on Arizona.
No,
they're a nice story. It was nice. Rick Tockett's doing a good job with them, but boy, to me, just too many holes. Too many holes, and boy, that Terrell Hall trade just really doesn't seem to be working out that well, does it?
Give it some time.
Did he? He just finally scored his first goal, I think.
Yeah,
before the All-Star break.
So, if you're Taylor Hall, are you re-signing in Arizona? Probably not. I guarantee he almost. I should say I almost guarantee.
Yeah.
he'll hit the open market to see what he can get anyway.
Was that just a 1 year that he's?
Yeah, he's still in the last year of his contract.
Oh wow.
He's a UFA, so
Yeah,
he'd be nuts not to see what at least he could get.
I know quite a few teams that would still welcome him with open arms.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Taylor Hall's one of those. I think he needs to be with a center that can set him up.
Yeah.
I just truly believe that. You know, that year he won the Hart Trophy, to me was almost like an aberration. Everything just kind of seemed to go right.
Right.
You know, but yeah, right.
Go right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But, yeah, right.
Travis,
So-
I gotta ask you: are you going to bring us more food next week?
I'm trying to remember what my schedule is now.
The whole time we've been talking, I could.
No, actually, no, I got to work.
Oh, you got to work.
Yeah.
Oh, so great. We starve next week.
So yeah.
Wasting away over here.
I'm actually dying to try this too because Z left me something that they had off one of his shows, which was the candied bacon.
I'm looking at our host. He's not starving.
I thought I had you guys all fooled.
Neither am I.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's. Oh, you have more?
I just looked at this real quick too.
Mm-hmm.
They got Montreal behind San Jose. San Jose's a dumpster fire. I mean, I realize that Montreal is pretty much almost out of it,
Yeah.
but Montreal's finally starting to get healthy again. I mean, they got ripped apart by injuries. They're going to have Jonathan Drouin back pretty soon. They're going to have Paul Byron back. They're going to have Brandon Gallagher back pretty soon. It's a long shot, but Montreal could at least play spoiler. You know, I don't think there's any way in God's green earth that they should be behind San Jose.
You know, I should ask you too. The Jets. You think the Jets are a little low on there?
No.
No.
I think Paul Maurice has done a heck of a job, but they weren't supposed to be where they are right now as it is. So they are a losing streak away from hanging on for dear life.
8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they have them. What? Maybe 20.
No, they're right about where they should be.
Yeah.
They're right about where they should be, I think.
We'll have to post this list so that everybody can take a look at it.
Yeah.
Or I guess you can just go on. It's called oddsshark.com. Oddsshark. ODDS shark.com. And if you just put in your, I guess, odds to win the Stanley Cup, the 2020 Stanley Cup, you'll see them all on there. And, of course, Detroit, right on the bottom.
100,000 to 1, baby.
Hey, man. You know, I had one of my buddies come up to me the other night when we were doing a show, and he said, so what do you think about Detroit this year?
What about him?
Hey, you know what we should do? We should do this again after the trade deadline.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you. I don't follow Vegas all that closely. I'm not a betting guy. Look at me. I got no money anyways. They don't change this list after the trade deadline at all?
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, the odds change all the time.
I thought this was like the final.
No way.
I'll see.
No.
See, that's what I know.
Nope. Like I said, after the trade deadline, we'll see where the real odds are. That's why they always kind of. And I'm not a gambler at all. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but they say that if you're going to bet, say on like Stanley Cup champions and all that, the time to bet is like now, where you can get in with a good odds on a team. Say like I was just going off about Vancouver or Florida.
Right.
So let's say I really like those teams and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. Boom. Well, the odds are in your favor. Now let's say Florida goes on this big winning streak, or they make the big trade deadline acquisition, and all of a sudden those odds went closer to the mean. Well, you're still on those better odds because of betting.
Yeah, you're locked in.
early.
You're locked
So you're
in. on
locked
your
in.
bet.
Yeah. This is why we need Ray Nation on this show.
Yeah, right.
Ray Nation, our betting guru. He's man, dude,
A rambling, gambling man.
yeah. I look at some of the bets he makes for football. I don't know how he does it, man. I really don't know how he does it, but he does it. I don't know how he does the things he does, but he does. Anyways, that pizza's calling my name, so let's call it right now. Do you want to do that next week? We'll talk Columbus and we'll talk Rangers.
Yeah. We can do.
Yo, she's like, but why? That's all right. That's what we're going to do. So any Rangers fans out there, get ready, and you can chime in next week with us. That's I'm calling it already. So, all right, that's going to do it. So, Travis, thank you so much for stopping by today.
No problem.
Bringing the pizza. It's always a
It looks
pleasure
like
having you.
it's awesome.
Oh, you guys had pizza back there?
Hey, yeah.
We had something. See, when you get here before,
Yeah.
5 minutes before we start,
Oh,
you have
yeah,
time
we-
to eat a
we
piece of
prepared.
pizza.
Dirty dogs. See, I didn't know it. I didn't know we could have pizza on this show. Anyways, all right. So, Travis, thank you. And Scott, Yoshi, we'll see you next week.
All right.
I'm Rich Masucci. Thanks for chiming in and tuning in and all that good stuff. And we will talk to you next week. See
ya.
See ya.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.